practices of private investigators.
While Senators Victor Ume Leriumi and Senator Mohammed Mungunu spoke in support of the bill, Senator Adams Oshiomhole and meanwhile Basin Saliu Mustafa said the idea of spying into the private lives of Nigerians is something that is in bad state.
That this bill, for all intents and purposes, is desirable. We should be able to support it and pass it. The licensing of these people should be able to regulate the conduct of people so licensed. It's not for witch hunting or somebody going to investigate anybody at his whims and caprices. The court can make use of the evidence produced by a private investigator.
Effort of this private investigator is very complementary in many dimensions, and this will assist our businessmen in the area mentioned by the mover in terms of fraud prevention, insurance fraud, aviation, and many more. Even in bank charges, we have employed so many of them. But since the bill is just trying to regulate the activities of these private investigators, I think it's a right step in the right direction.
I think that it'd be risky to license anyone to have the right to approach any one of us and ask certain questions because the law has empowered him so to do. It will just be a license for extortion, a license for blackmail, an unnecessary rivalry, and it will not be controllable.
I'm against the bill because if you are asking people to go and be licensed, I presently practice private investigation in this country. I investigated a lot of people in this country as a forensic accountant. I cannot go for under another regulatory agency for me to be licensed to practice. I give evidence in court, and lawyers can investigate and give evidence in court. So we don't need to put people to go into another round of requirement to go and be licensed before they practice.
After a heated deliberation, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, advised the sponsor of the bill to step down the bill and consult further with the senators who have raised concerns about the bill.
A country where we have numerous wives, and then any of the wives can approach a private investigator, and they will bring very false evidence against you, and at the end of the day, you end up being scandalized. Social media will take that report as if the report is true. But however, I want to urge a view of the divergent of views and the concerns raised by your colleagues. Do you want to reject this and then represent it so that we just step it down?
Working on this bill, the issue you raised now was one of my major concerns. Somebody said that several men will not be very comfortable with it because it will impinge on their freedom of going to the other way. So, Mr. President, well, let me go back and rework it and also consult more of my colleagues.
Meanwhile, a bill seeking to establish a Federal University of Agriculture and Tropical Studies, Irapiji, Osun State, passed second reading on the floor of the Senate. The bill, which was introduced for the first time on Wednesday, equally passed second reading without much debate. Sponsored by the leader of the Senate, Opeyemi Bamidele, the bill was given accelerated passage and sent to the Senate Committee on Tertiary Education and Trust Fund to report back in 3 weeks.
One noticeable feature in the development of universities in Nigeria is the emergence of specialized universities. Most of these focus on science and technology, hence the need to establish the Federal University of Agriculture and Tropical Studies, Iragbeji, Osun State, to increase the number of agricultural universities. This will help the back-to-land policy of the federal government to ensure the diversification of our national economy.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Agriculture and Tropical Studies, Iragbeji, Osun State, and make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration and for related matters 2024 SB 569. Second reading taken.
The bill, if passed into law and assented to by the President, Osun State will be having 3 federal universities, first of 8 in the country. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives on Wednesday rejected the commander of the Federal Republic, CFR order announced by President Bola Tinubu in his independence anniversary speech to be conferred on the Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas. The House also called on President Bola Tinubu to confer on the office of the Speaker the national honor of Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, GCON, insisting that the office of the Speaker is higher than that of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who is to be conferred with GCON. This followed the adoption of the motion moved by the deputy spokesperson of the House, Philip Agbase, with 248 orders during plenary in Abuja. Moving the motion, Agbase explained that the National Assembly is constitutionally established as a bicameral legislature comprising two equal chambers, the Senate and the House of Representatives, as stipulated in Section 4 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, with both chambers operating within a framework that ensures the legislative independence and equality of each. A member of the House of Representatives representing Ukwa East and West in Abia State, Honorable Chris Nkwanta, has defected from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to the All Progressive Congress (APC). The defection was announced by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas during a plenary session in Abuja on Wednesday. In his response, Deputy Minority Leader Aliu Madaki, citing a section of the Constitution, called for Nkwata's seat to be declared vacant. However, the Speaker informed Madaki that he was aware of a faction within the PDP which may have influenced the defection.
Of the defection of Honorable Chris Okonta, member representing Ukwa East and West Federal Constituency, Abia State, from People's Democratic Party to All Progressive Congress.
The federal government has unveiled new tax regulations aimed at reducing the tax burden on the manufacturing sector and small businesses. This was disclosed in the deduction of tax at source withholding regulations 2024 signed by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, on Wednesday. The deduction of tax at source withholding regulations 2024 aimed to streamline the deduction of taxes at source from payments to taxable persons, reduce complexities, and promote ease of compliance for businesses. The newly introduced regulations will cover payments made under the Capital Gains Tax Act, for Companies Income Tax Act, Petroleum Profit Tax Act, and the Personal Income Tax Act. Among its objectives are promoting global best practices, reducing tax evasion, and curbing arbitrage between corporate and non-corporate structures. The objectives of these regulations are to set out the rules for the deduction of tax at source from payments to taxable persons under the Capital Gains Tax Act, the Companies Income Tax Act, the Petroleum Profits Tax Act, and the Personal Income Tax Act regarding specified transactions. The regulations outline rules for deductions targeting areas where tax collections has previously been difficult or unclear. You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. The Federal Capital Territory Command of the Nigeria Police Force debunks claims that officers of the command attacked protesters at the Taco Market on October 1st, 2024. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Just stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comment, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. President Bola Tinubu's revelation of the plan for a national youth conference, which is set to take place over 30 days, seems laudable if this can be done differently from past confab that have been convicted in the past. This move could outline a broader for emancipation of the Nigerian youth from the oblivion to greatness. Galaxy News correspondent Lebby Joseph has more in this report.
I am pleased to announce the gathering of a national youth conference. This conference will be a platform to address the diverse challenges and opportunities confronting our young people, who constitute more than 60% of our population. It will provoke meaningful dialogue and empower our young people to participate actively in nation building.
One key issue that borders the progression of the Nigerian youth in President Tinubu's national address to mark Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary was the proposed conference. The confab aims to tackle key issues such as education, employment, innovation, and security, and as a platform for young people to contribute to national discussions.
It's something that is commendable. It is part of what the government can do to enable the youth to participate in act of governance.
The youth is not a bad thing, but since this government came into power in May 2023, there has been at least 3 protests. For a country who says that they don't have money, you know, the presidency keeps saying that, you know, we need to endure, we are trying to sanitize the system. I don't think that Nigeria, if it is true that we are as impoverished as the presidency claims that we are, we shouldn't be able to afford a confab.
Unemployment is a major problem facing Nigerian youth, which culminated into increased militancy, violent crimes, kidnappings, and social delinquency. Youth unemployment is devastating to both the individual and the society as a whole, both psychologically and economically.
Some have argued started intensifying deeply since the days of SAP, the Structural Adjustment Program, when the World Bank and the IMF started advising government to stop investing, public investment in basic services, so that the education subsidy started going, and then education started becoming commercialized, and then water started disappearing on our streets, and then healthcare started becoming highly commercialized, and on and on and on. So the government started reducing investment in basic services, and today government investment is almost totally gone in many of these services.
The youth that I am part of, that is my constituency, we don't want a confab. We just want our naira to have value. We want that if we sell 1 and we get 2, let's not get to the market and find that what was 2 yesterday is actually 4. The truth is, this is not the first time. There are lots of panels, lots of committees, lots of confabs, and nothing has been done, both by previous governments and this present one.
Nigeria youth face multiple challenges, including poverty, unemployment, and underdevelopment, and underemployment, limited educational opportunities, and health challenges. From Lagos, this is Lebby Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
Authorities of the Federal Capital Territory Command of the Nigeria Force has debunked claims that officers of the command attacked protesters at Otaku Market on Monday, October 1st, 2024. The command, in a statement issued and signed by its Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Ade, categorically denied the narrative, tagging it completely false and misleading. According to the statement, acting on intelligence, the operatives only took measures to forestall some miscreants who were taking advantage of the protest to loot shops in the market, and as a result extended focus to them. It added that as a responsible agency, police could not stand by and allow traders to be robbed of their hard-earned money and belongings without intervening. The command therefore urged the populace to disregard such misleading and mischievous information, as the command is committed to ensuring the safety of the populace in the exercise of their civil rights. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has presented cash checks totaling 45.8 million naira to families of deceased police officers killed, maimed or injured in action while still serving in the Nigerian Police Benue State. Police Commissioner Stephen Yabanet presented the checks to 43 families on behalf of the Inspector General of Police as part of the police insurance benefit. CP Yabanet, who condoled with the families of the deceased while presenting checks detailing specific amounts to the next of kin, admonished them to make judicious use of the money to cater for their family during these hard times. One of the beneficiaries, who spoke on behalf of others while thanking the IGP and the Commissioner of Police, said he lost his wife in last armed robbery incident in Otupo, where she was shot. However, said the money will go a long way in supporting the family.
The Inspector General of Police takes great delight on the welfare of police officers generally and the welfare of the family of deceased officers in particular. All officers that lost their life in the line of duty, the Inspector General of Police is always keen about the interests of the welfare of their family. And it is in the record of that I have graciously approved the payment of checks to this family to the sum of about 45,850,000.
We want to use this thing to extend the Inspector General of Police to give us this opportunity today and make us forget some of our sorrow. We just want to say thank you so much.
And I want to extend my gratitude to the IG of Police for coming through for us at this hard time. It has not been easy, but he put a smile on our faces. So we, from the bottom of our hearts, were saying thank you.
Commander Patrick Davo has charged officers of the Federal Road Safety Corps to rededicate themselves to duty of keeping the Nigeria roads safe. Sector Commander Davo made this call during his valedictory and retirement program held at the Lagos Sector Command headquarters at Ojodu, Lagos.
It's not everybody. It's only those who are hardworking. All people who are holding positions in Lagos. Lagos is a very unique state. It's a very unique state. If you are not hardworking in any organization, not only road safety, you might not be the number one. So all people who have been posted to Lagos are people who are ready to work.
The valedictory and retirement program brought together various important people from different sectors of live in honor of the man people, simply referred to as the perfect silent man who only believed in work. They wished him goodness in his retirement period.
We are going to be happy to associate with him.
since his assumption, even right from the first day in his office, he changed narratives about general operations of FRSC Lagos. His anthem, personal anthem, is always that I'm here to work. I'm here to work.
Lagos. I said, while you are there, because at the time he acted as a acting zonal commanding officer. I said that movement that you made, you know, the pictorial evidence that you are sending, that we are really working. I said, I want to assume that was what made them to bring you to Lagos so that you can now continue in that service to achieve more for Lagos State.
About 10 people lost their lives at a road traffic accident at Abuloshun in Ward Iyanoiba along Lagos-Badagry Expressway late last night around 11 p.m. Information gathered indicated that a Toyota Sienna bus laden to capacity with passengers from the eastern part of the country was involved in a road accident with a stationary Sasham truck. The truck laden with grenades broke down on the road, occupying about half of the carriageway, while the Toyota Sienna on top speed crashed into the stationary truck from behind. 10 people lost their lives to the unfortunate incident, while there were critically injured people. The dead passengers include 3 male adults, 4 female adults, 2 female children, 1 male child. The injured passengers were rescued and taken to a nearby hospital by officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps before arrival of the officials of LRT. Meanwhile, at least 60 bodies have been recovered following the tragic boat accident on the Badijo River in Niger State, where a vessel carrying approximately 300 passengers capsized. The incident occurred last night near Mokwa local government area as the boat traveled from Mundi to Bajibo for the annual Mulu celebration. According to Abubakar Dakani, press secretary to the Mokwa Council chairman, the boat capsized in the notorious river on the evening of October 1st. Council chairman Abdullahi Muregi confirmed the recovery of around 60 bodies, while 10 survivors have been rescued. Rescue operations led by the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, NSEMA, and local volunteers are ongoing to search for the remaining missing passengers. Abdullahi Babara, Director General of NSEMA, stated that 150 people were rescued shortly after the mishap, with many still accounted for. Most of the passengers were women and children heading to the Maulud celebration. The cause of the accident remains unknown, but officials from NSEMA, along with the State Ministry of Transport and local emergency teams, are monitoring the search and rescue effort closely. The federal government has initiated emergency repairs on the deteriorating 7-kilometer stretch of the Lagos-Songota-Biakuta Road, a crucial route that has faced significant neglect in recent years. This announcement was made on Wednesday through a statement issued by the Special Advisor Media to the Minister of Works, Uchenna Orji. In the statement, Orji emphasized the government commitment to addressing the pressing infrastructure issues affecting commuters. According to him, the repair initiative is part of a broader strategy under the Operation Free Our Roads program aimed at enhancing the condition of federal roadways across the nation. Orji stated that the Federal Ministry of Works, under the watch of David Umahi, is committed to providing relief to motorists and commuters on all the federal roads nationwide. A middle-aged man identified as Samson has been clubbed to death by angry youth in the Delta community of Ughelli for killing his son and a nursing mother. The suspect, who committed the offense in the early hours of the morning, was dragged to the street by youth who repeatedly clubbed him to death before setting him ablaze. Although the suspect was said to be having mental health challenges, but the angry youth decided to take laws into their hands through jungle justice. When contacted, the Delta Police Command spokesperson Edafe Bright condemned the killing by the youth, as he promised the police command to resolve to arrest the perpetrators. The caretaker committee of the All Progressive Congress in River State has accused the state government and River State Independent Electoral Commission of act of impunity in the preparation of the conduct of October 5th local government election in this state. The caretaker committee chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Tony Okocha, disclosed this in a press briefing at the party secretariat in Port Harcourt. He specifically pointed to the governor's determination to proceed with local government council elections despite a recent court ruling against it.
Under what law is this local government election going to hold? What is the appropriation? Who appropriated the funds for local government election to hold? So you see illegality, impunities, and on this, seeing the level of desperation of the governor, who after the judgment of the Federal High Court came and got to him, drove straight to INEC of RISIEC office to nudge them to continue to hold the election and to say that if they see any security agency here, that he will deal with them. Has he not confirmed that we are not comfortable, can't be comfortable?
Publicity Secretary of the Caretaker Committee, Chibuike Kenga, alleged that the River State Independent Electoral Commission and the River State government have a penchant for the disobedience of court orders and judgments.
There is need for the courts, for the judiciary itself, to take positive steps to ensuring enforcement and compliance to their rules and judgments. By that way, citizens of Nigeria, particularly River State, as River State government and River State Independent Electoral Commission had signposted that whatever decisions that are taken at the courts will not be obeyed and that nothing will happen.
Secretary of the Caretaker Committee describes the governor's visiting office of the River State Independent Electoral Commission as infringement to right of other parties taking part in the election.
Nigerians must know that the River State Independent Electoral Commission, which is being controlled by the River State Executive, is about to go outside of court judgments that are bad, all the institutions that are business in the conduct of local government elections and indeed other elections in Nigeria from doing so. That will not be nice for our democracy.
Meanwhile, River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has declared Thursday, the 4th of October, and Friday, the 4th, as a public holiday to enable the people cast their vote for Saturday local government elections in the state. The governor made this known in a state broadcast at the Government House in Port Harcourt, the state capital. According to Governor Fubara, the legality of the local government election is not in doubt, hence the need to conduct it on Saturday, the 5th of October 2024.
The impulse of RISEC to conduct the local government election was further strengthened by the judgment of the River State High Court in suit number PHC/2696/CX/2024, delivered on the 4th of September.
Meanwhile, Ahead of local government election scheduled for October 5th, 2024, the Benue State Independent Electoral Commission says adequate preparation have been made to conduct a free, fair and credible election across the 23 local government areas in the state. Chairman of the Commission disclosed this during the distribution exercise of non-sensitive materials to local government collation centers with the assistance of police personnel deployed along with buses conveying the materials to the destination. Ballot materials which are non-sensitive such as reflective jackets, life jackets, umbrella, inks, gums, sellotapes, stamps, bags among others were all deployed to ensure a hitch-free exercise. Chairman of the Commission, who assured of a transparent exercise, said sensitive materials will be deployed on this coming Friday, which is the eve of the election day. Meanwhile, 8 political parties will be participating in the election, with PDP, Labour Party and APC, the ruling party, taking part in the election.
Today's activities at the headquarters of the State Independent Electoral Commission is mainly to distribute these non-sensitive materials to the various government areas within the state, which are 23, to our electoral officers. And that, by the grace of God, we're able to do. And there are so many items that were distributed. Some of them include the stamp for the local government officers, stamp for all the government officers, and stamp for the presiding officers.
And I'll move on to the foreign desk for more news. This is news from the international scene. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said the Republic of Rwanda has confirmed 27 cases of Marburg virus disease and 9 deaths as of September 30, 2024. The Africa CDC made this known in a press statement. The Ministry of Health of the Republic of Rwanda declared a Marburg virus disease outbreak on September 27, 2024. The center said, as of September 30, 27 confirmed cases and 9 deaths have been reported. Most of the cases are healthcare workers. Over 297 contacts have been registered and are under follow-up. The Ministry of Health further urged Rwandans to remain vigilant and strengthen preventive measures by ensuring hygiene, washing hands with soap, sanitizing hands, and taking necessary precautionary measures when in contact with other individuals. MVD is a severe and often fatal zoonotic hemorrhagic illness caused by the Marburg virus. The virus is usually transmitted to humans from fruit bat. Human-to-human transmission occurs through direct contact with an infected person's body fluid or with equipment and materials contaminated with infectious blood or tissues. Iran has extended the closure of its airspace as it expects Israeli retaliation following its attack on the enemy country on Tuesday evening. All flights have been cancelled until 5 a.m. on Thursday to maintain aviation security, state news agency ISNA reported, citing a spokesman for the aviation authority. Iran initially closed the airspace over Tehran, cancelling all flights up until Wednesday morning after it launched a barrage of missiles at Israel on Tuesday evening. Israel's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said the attack was in retaliation for the killing of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh, Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah, and an Iranian general. 3 Israeli air bases and the headquarters of the Israeli Foreign Intelligence Service, Mossad, were the targets of the attack, according to Iran. The detonation of a U.S. bombshell likely dropped during World War II has forced the closure of a regional airport in Japan. The buried armament exploded near the runway of Miyazaki Airport on the southern Japanese island of Kyushu on Wednesday. The blast damaged the runway, grounding all 87 flights scheduled for the day. Miyazaki, which was used as a base for the kamikaze pilot, shot its runway early on Wednesday after a blast left a crater 7 meters wide and 1 meter deep in the middle of the taxiway, an official of the Ministry of Land Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism said. A bomb disposal team from the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force later found that the cause of the explosion was a U.S. bomb that had been buried beneath the land surface, probably dating to a wartime air raid, the official added. No injuries were reported, but live camera footage showed an aeroplane had been taxiing near the blast site, which is about 100 meters away from the terminal building, shortly beforehand. Still on the international scene, at least 45 people have died and dozens are missing after 2 vessels carrying refugees and migrants from Africa sank off the coast of Djibouti, the UN's migration agency said. The International Organization for Migration (IOM) said that the boat left Yemen with 310 people on board before sinking in the Red Sea. Djibouti's Coast Guard said the joint rescue effort had been underway since early on Monday, with 115 survivors now rescued and dozens still missing. The boat sank just 150 meters from a beach near Djibouti's northwest Khor Anga region, the Coast Guard said. Taiwan has shut down ahead of the arrival of Typhoon Krathon, closing offices and schools, evacuating thousands and cancelling flights and ferry services. Krathon, with sustained wind speed of 173 km per hour and gusts up to 209 km per hour, is expected to strike the southwestern port city of Kaohsiung in the early hours of Thursday and has already brought torrential rain and strong winds. The Central Weather Administration said it was located about 160 kilometers southwest of Kaohsiung as of 7 a.m. on Wednesday. Kaohsiung Mayor Chen Chi-mai asked the city's 2.7 million residents to stay indoors unless necessary and to avoid flood and landslide-prone areas near rivers, the sea and the mountains. Up to 80 centimeters of rain has been forecast in surrounding mountainous areas. All cities and countries in Taiwan declared a day off on Wednesday. The Ministry of Interior said that nearly 10,000 people have been evacuated from at-risk areas as a precaution. Domestic and many international flights are cancelled. Lastly, on the international scene, the global prices for different varieties of rice dropped on Monday after India and Pakistan made tit-for-tat moves to eliminate price caps and resume rice export. On Saturday, the Indian government lifted a ban on the export of non-basmati white rice more than a year after it blocked overseas sales with a larger crop yield in 2024, bolstering state warehouse reserve for domestic needs. This decision followed Pakistan's announcement a day earlier to withdraw the minimum export rice for all rice varieties, a measure that had been in place since 2023 and set at $1,300 per metric ton of basmati rice and $550 for non-basmati rice. Pakistan's decision was influenced by India's earlier removal of the MEP of $950 per metric ton for basmati rice in September. India and Pakistan are the only countries that produce basmati rice, known as the scented pearl, for its unique aroma and flavor. In a notification issued on September 28, Jam Kamal Khan, Pakistan's Commerce Minister, said the government acted on a request from the Rice Exporters Association of Pakistan to eliminate the MEP. And that's it from the international scene.
And now we'll move over to entertainment news.
Mr. and Ms. Tourism Africa is a global organization that celebrates Africa's beauty, culture, and tourism, with a focus on empowering young women and men. Speaking at the just concluded Mr. and Ms. Tourism Africa beauty pageant, the CEO of Sahara International, Mr. Modela, said the brand is looking for people who will be good ambassadors for the continent and also people who will show the world what we as a continent has to offer.
Well, first of all, I want to say kudos to the platform for
scouting these beauties, both the male and female talents from across Africa. So back to your question, we're looking at really stunning beauties, both male and female, and then also not just the beauty but also brains. So we're looking at creativity, we're looking at people who would be good ambassadors for the continent. Of course, this is Miss Tourism Africa and then Mr. Tourism. And we know Africa is super blessed, but we do need as many ambassadors who can, show the world what we have to offer. So tonight we'll be seeing a lot of beauties, but also seeing a lot of people who are also very intellectually sound.
Santiago Roberts, the convener, while speaking at the event, said pageantry is a tool for development.
Well, there's going to be a lot of surprises. First and foremost, this is the first time that we are debuting Mr. Tourism Africa. And also, this is the third season of Miss Tourism Africa. And it's actually the first time that you're having a mixed pageant of a continental nature. So it's going to be amazing. Just prepare for a show. Well, first and foremost, I have been opportunity to travel around Africa. And one thing I always say is that Africa is one of the most beautiful continents that I've come to see. And I think that every person should explore Africa. And that's the reason why the entire event is built around the slogan that is "See Africa First." There's more to see in Africa. There is more to experience. There is more to actually get to understand if only we avail ourselves, open our mind to that opportunity.
Also speaking at the events were contestants who represented their different countries. Miss Uganda said if she wins the competition, she will become an idol that inspires younger generation.
I feel very excited. I have a whole mix of emotions, but I'm really excited to represent my country and show the beauty that Uganda really has to carry and show Africa. First of all, simply being here, I am an idol to somebody that is younger. That means they are looking up to me and wanting to be like me, and hopefully with the different things I plan to do, I hope that they can get from that and learn and then be able to also inspire the next generation as well.
Ms. Ghana also said that if she wins the crown, she will use her platform to promote Africa's culture globally.
When I win this crown tonight, I believe Africa has a lot to offer to the world in terms of tourism. And tourism is one sector that boosts every economy. So I would enhance on social media advertisements to boost our tourism sector. Also, there are lots of tourism places within Africa which could be monetized, and these places are lesser known tourist destinations. So I want to use social media as a tool to enhance these places so that people will become aware of it rather than going to the everyday places they know, maybe Kakum National Park, the museum or somewhere. So we have iconic places, and I even discovered some in Nigeria. We went to the Abeokuta State and we discovered Olumoro Rock. So these are iconic places that I want to use social media as a tool to post. This is what I'll do when I win the Mr. Race.
The Mr. representing Gambia said he will use the platform to organize and advocate for inclusion and equality.
The good thing about Mr. Tourism Africa is that it's an organization that advocates for inclusion, you understand, inclusion and equality. And way before coming in for Mr. Tourism Africa, I had my own advocacy, which is advocating on behalf of the physically challenged individuals. And for that reason, I actually registered a promotion company in the Gambia, which is SSG Promotion, which owns Miss St. Peters. And Miss St. Peters is a platform given to young girls to advocate on issues the society is giving a deaf ear to. So it will actually be continuing my lifelong advocacy, advocating on behalf of the physically challenged individuals, and also trying to expose the historical sites that we have in the Gambia, because we have amazing historical sites that I would wish to actually make promotional videos and then be sharing them so that it can actually get the attention of tourists to always wanting to visit Gambia more and more and more.
Also on the red carpet were ambassadors from Kenya who said Nigeria is blessed with diverse culture.
First and foremost, I want to say happy 64th independence. Thank you. Yes, it's a great milestone. And what I want to say about Nigerian culture is it's a very rich culture. We see a lot of variety. You have so much varieties in food, in dressing, hair, tribes, and everything around it. I think it's really, when you look at the population and when you compare with the rest of Africa, I think that already in itself it signifies a wide variety.
At the events were also celebrities who came in their numbers to add thrills and glamour to the occasion. Your favorite celebrities had this to say.
I was one of the headlining judges for the first edition of Miss Tourism Africa, and this was during COVID, and it was at Terra Culture. Miss Kenya won, Noni Karuiki, beautiful girl. But now tonight, I'm rooting, but let me be honest, I will take it home. Okay. As you all know, I'm mixed race. I'm nationality confused.
Just have fun and, you know, may the best person win. Everyone's a queen, actually. And
okay, so you're not rooting for anybody?
No, not really. I'm rooting for everyone.
Not even your Nigerian girl?
I'm rooting for everyone.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be an amazing event. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see the winners, and yeah, fingers crossed.
So are you rooting for somebody?
I'm rooting for everybody.
The event ended with Miss Namibia going home with the crown, while Mr. Tourism Africa went to Nigeria.
Mr. Tourism Africa 2024 is Nigeria.
And that's what we have on Galaxy Primetime News. Thank you so